Let's get the latest. We now cross to our reporter Khayelihle Khumalo, who joins us live from the Ugandan Commission. Khayelihle, thank you so much for your time. Strong words there by the EFF. Talk to us about what exactly the memorandum is saying and what are they demanding from the Ugandan government?
Well, absolutely, and it's quite a very overwhelming support in terms of their opposition to this anti-homosexuality bill. So that was quite a very strong message that was conveyed here to the Ugandan High Commissioner. Unfortunately, the High Commissioner is outside of the country, albeit the second in command took the memorandum. So he made an undertaking that he'll be taking the grievances to Uganda, because obviously he's not in a position to respond to the litany of demands that are required by the members of EFF. But in a nutshell, really, it's about the human rights, because Mr. Malema was at pains to indicate that the gay rights are human rights, but also talking about the fact that, all of this happened as South Africa was celebrating or commemorating the Human Rights Day on the 21st of March, where the Ugandan MPs reached a point where overwhelmingly they voted in favor of this bill. And of course, the East African nation has been battling with these legislations. When you go back to 2014, where the Constitutional Court of Uganda had to essentially stop the passing of the bill due to certain procedures. But Nati, I'm just going to try and get a word or two from some of the picketers who were part and parcel of this particular demonstration. I'm just going to start with you, ma'am. You were part of this, and I can see your colours, that really you're supporting the rainbow flag, and you've got a placard where you say gay rights are human rights, and of course just emphasizing that issue. But for you, what stood out today?
I'm here to support Uganda's. Okay, I'm here to support people from Uganda, because I'm also a lesbian, and I feel bad when I see other lesbians being killed for being who they are. So I feel like I should support them, so that Mr. Museveni won't sign that Bill of Rights, so that they will be. Yes. Okay,
thank you so much indeed for that sentiment tonight. I'm just going to move across as well. So that has been really just a clear condemnation today. I'm just going to come to you, sir, as well. You were part of this picket, and Mr. Malema said that when you look at South Africa's struggle, other people fought in other parts of the world. So if something happens in Uganda, inevitably we cannot be quiet. So we have to speak. So for you, any just key highlights?
I disagree with what they have decided in that country, because you cannot be killed or judged for who you sleep with. We've got a whole lot of things going around. People are raped. They are forced. Old men are forced to sleep with young kids. Those are things that should be tackled, not being gay. That's just inhuman.
And what would be your message to Mr. Museveni? He does have 30 days to consider this bill, and he's the one who can say he approves, and obviously there might be court action and stuff, but what can you say if you were to talk to him right now?
I would say that being gay is a human right. These people are not killers, are not rapists, are not anything. They are just being themselves. So it cannot be that wrong. You can't judge somebody on who they are or who they're sleeping with. He must just reconsider that and tell the people there that these people are just human. They're normal. Nothing wrong with them. So who they sleep with is their business. It's their human right.
All right. Thank you so much indeed for your time. So those are some of the views from the ground here, Unati, just outside the Ugandan High Commission. And we do know of the position that South Africa does play in the continent. You look at the Constitution of South Africa, where it guarantees the right of the people, irrespective of their sexual orientation. So I think there's also a bit of a clarion call to the South African government. We haven't really been hearing much other than just some remarks that were made by International Relations and Cooperation Minister Pandor, where he was saying that South Africa has been trying to set example And this is something that has been a main issue in the continent, where more than 30 countries in the continent do have these very stiff penalties for the gays, for the lesbians, for the transgender and the queer. So there was a very clear message for the Ugandan authorities not to proceed with this particular bill, but also how it's been widely condemned. You know, just to quote the White House, they said it's one of the most repressive legislations that we have seen. But also, you have the business community in Uganda as well warning about the repercussions of such a bill once it becomes a legislation, especially because the country is trying to resuscitate its economy, just like many other countries as well. But also listening to the voices as well from the lobby groups, some of the activists from Uganda who were part of these particular picket, talking about their concerns back home, talking about the flagrant violation of their rights, and calling on President Museveni not to proceed in assenting this particular bill.
Khayelihle Khumalo, thank you so much for that update. Of course, he's coming to us live there from the Ugandan Commission. The EFF is calling on members of parliament and cabinet in Uganda not to allow the Anti-Homosexuality Bill to be signed into law.